Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope you're having a great day today. I'm back again and I'm ready for today's episode. We're starting today's episode on Am I Overreacting? Am I overreacting to skip Thanksgiving after my mum basically said that I'm an embarrassment for not having a husband and kids by now? Wow, okay. Sorry if this hurts your feelings, but it's time for some tough love. You made a big mistake when you broke off with so-and-so. I know you didn't like what he did, but giving up over that was stupid. Everyone else has a family, your sister, your brother, cousins. Doesn't that make you feel embarrassed to be the only one without a family? Doesn't it make you lonely? You're too old for roommates. It's time to grow up. Just my 2 cents. Don't shoot the messenger. Wow. Love you, sweetie. Just something to think about. Oh my god. And it says here, I'm 35 female and I'm single for 3 years. I was engaged, but he, Charles, was doing weird sexting roleplay with people on a video game, which was disgusting. It really me up, and yeah, I've been in therapy. I've dated since then, but nothing serious. I have never had my mum say something like this to me. I don't want to go to Thanksgiving after this. The way that she said, don't shoot the messenger, it's clear the rest of my family have been talking about me, and she was the one who was elected to say it. Jin just fell off something. He jumped off the cat tower. Jin, come join the episode. I don't want to drive 2 hours just to sit with people who think that I should have stayed in a relationship with a cheating degenerate little. Yeah, and that's understandable, OP. Would I be overreacting for not going? Is that too much? I'm honestly too hurt and angry to be objective right now. Would you ever say this to your daughter? Like, I've got a good job, I'm educated, I've got friends and hobbies, I own my condo and I've got 3 car payments left, I have a cat. Why is the end all be all having a husband and kids? I don't know, I'm pissed. Help. The top comment says, don't shoot the messenger. It's your message. Yeah, what are you talking about? The second top comment says, her 2 cents is why they're getting rid of pennies. That's funny. Yeah, no, I don't feel like you're overreacting at all, OP. Like, what, are you meant to go and pretend everything's okay? Like, why? And yeah, like you said, OP, why is the end-all be-all having a husband and kids? You've got all this other stuff going on. You rightfully are not with your ex. By the sounds of it, you definitely should not have stayed with him. You're not overreacting at all. This comment says, not overreacting, I would not attend any holidays or other events at her place. She's not the messenger, she's the problem. Yeah, and like the response says too. But also don't assume that the rest of the family even had this thought. It seems that she's trying to project her opinion onto the family and OP. Yeah, I feel like that's definitely a good point because the rest of the family might not have been thinking this. Like, just because your mum said this sort of stuff doesn't mean that everybody else said the same stuff. Yeah, and like the response to that comment says, OP should definitely let the rest of the family know what her mum's saying on their behalf and that that's why they won't be seeing her for a while. Yeah, and also like this comment says, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you've got a mum. I too have a mum. I say this so you won't internalize her Go have a Friendsgiving and call it a day. Yeah, and the mum saying, oh, time for some tough love. That's not tough love. You're just being an a-hole. Like, oh, you should be embarrassed, daughter, because you don't have a husband and kids? Yeah, that's really constructive feedback, mum. Thank you for this tough love. The mum's just being nasty. You must have a husband and kids or you're an embarrassment. No, actually, that's not true. Yeah, it's a resounding not overreacting consensus. Story number 2. Am I the a-hole? I found out that one of the guys working under me is a legit flat earther, so I fired him. Wow, okay. One of our service techs is a legitimate flat earther. He has been working with the company for a couple of years, but I've only been managing the department and him for a few months. He came in for a training and while we were all at lunch went into a whole flat earth rant, trying to convince us that the earth is flat, that gravity wasn't real, the moon and sun were the same size, and a bunch of other wild At first I thought he was joking and just putting on a show, but he was dead serious. The dude makes YouTube videos about it and everything. We're hiring for a new tech and we got a bunch of qualified applicants. I decided to let this guy go and hire somebody a little bit more mentally stable that I can trust not to make our company look like idiots to our customers. He was a decent tech but nowhere near our best, and I feel that we can get someone in that position that's a much better fit. What an interesting situation. The top comment says, if I was a customer and a tech person was blathering on about a flat earth, I would never ever contact that company again. I don't want contact with crazies. And the response says, seriously, simply believing in flat earth or whatever is stupid enough. and that would be one thing of its own accord, but it's so clear this person is demonstrating that they're not going to keep it to themselves, particularly if it's in a customer-facing position. Yeah, he went on a whole flat earth rant, trying to convince us all that the earth was flat and that gravity wasn't real and that the moon and the sun were the same size and a bunch of other stuff. The second top comment says, this is a question for your HR department. I had a guy that I fired because he was coming to work high, drunk, intoxicated in one way or another. He still sued us because he wanted unemployment, and I had to defend my firing with showing corrective actions and warnings and additional trainings. Now any firing that I do go to HR first to make sure that I follow a procedure as to keep me from being sued. I would not have fired him for being a flat earther. I would have brought up his rant in the break room to HR, have it be a hostile work environment or some other issue, and then use that to fire him. Or his performance, or something else that would make sure that you're not putting yourself in a position to get fired or sued yourself. This one definitely does not have a clear consensus in the comments. Some of the comments are saying like, well, he's probably going to do that with a customer, so, you know, that's not good. Other comments are saying that OP's the a-hole. Like this comment says, yeah, you're the a-hole here. I'm by no means a flat earther, but if you fired this person because they had unorthodox beliefs that didn't align with yours, complete a-hole move. Are his thoughts, or more importantly, his actions illegal? Are they directly hurting your business? Is he pestering customers with his nonsense? You stated that his work was satisfactory. Did he have attendance issues? If not, what exactly did you fire this individual for? Completely unwarranted. This guy is at best guilty of having conversations that make you and his co-workers uncomfortable. And this comment says, yeah, sounds like you're a major a-hole if I'm being honest. Yeah, I'm not a flat earther, but let people believe what they want over something as silly as that. If it bothers you, sit the dude down and talk to him. It's a pretty piss poor decision to fire somebody over something like that. If you don't know how to treat people, then maybe you should find another position, preferably one where you're not interacting with others. Glad I don't work for your company. And then also there are comments like this one. Ah yes, this is the Reddit drama that I crave at 7 in the morning. I'd usually say that it's wrong to fire people based on their personal beliefs. That said, dude literally went on a rant about nonsense while on the clock. If he's willing to do this around co-workers, bet your ass he's willing to also make clients uncomfortable by going on the same rants to them and asking them to check out his YouTube or whatever. If you operate in an at-will state, you can fire them for any reason so long as it isn't discriminatory. So you're likely in the clear legally. Morally, I'd say you're in the clear as well, not the a-hole. I love reading the comments on these posts. It's kind of fun when all the comments are like all over the place. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And moving on to story number 3. Am I overreacting? A locksmith charged my partner's sister $5,390 to get back into her apartment. Whoa. Okay, so there's an invoice here. Emergency lockout service. Wow, that's some interesting handwriting. $350. Drill, broken lock, $400. Something, $250. Something old, something, $255. Fix mechanism, $1150. Removal, old lock, $220. New something, $225. Fix the frame, $250. Door adjustment, $850. Fix hinges on the door, $375. Something lock, $175. Fresh something, $400. Labor, $400. Tax card fee, $90. Total $5,390. That's unbelievable. And it says here, this has to be a scam, right? My partner's sister got locked out of her apartment the other night and called a 24/7 service in LA. When the guy got there, he said that none of the mechanics in the door actually worked, so he drilled into her lock and took the entire thing apart. It was the middle of the night, so she didn't have much choice, and when he was done, he gave her this bill. I thought she was saying that it was $500, not $5,000. This has to be a scam, right? I'm furious right now. Yeah, what? That can't be right. The top comment says, nope, half of these charges sound bogus. What's $800 for a door adjustment fee? Yeah, $400 to drill a lock and then another $250 to remove it? She should absolutely dispute and report this. 100%. Yeah, don't pay this. Like OP said, $500? Yeah, okay. Almost $5,500? No. Definitely not. The comment below that one says, yeah, I'd be letting them take that one to court. And OP responded, I wish she didn't put it on her card, but she lives alone and had this dude in the middle of the night basically robbing her at this point. The comment below that says, you didn't get scammed, you got robbed. Yeah, that's unbelievable. Door adjustment, $850. Fix hinges on the door, $375. Fix mechanism, $1,150. This guy is making stuff up on this. Like, oh yeah, I put some screws back in, $2,000. Yeah, your partner's sister should not pay this. That is wild. Okay, the next one says, am I overreacting for telling my boyfriend that this is a fire hazard? And it says, came into the room to find my boyfriend was drying a fleece blanket that was still damp from the dryer on top of the electric space heater. He said that it's not that big of a deal because wet things can't catch on fire. He's telling me that this isn't a fire hazard and that I'm overreacting, and encouraged me to ask for Reddit's opinion. It's one of those situations where, like, why would you do this anyway? Like, it might not burst into flames, but also it's an unnecessary risk. And yeah, it is definitely a fire hazard, but it's also unnecessary. Like, you don't need to put the bloody blanket on top of the heater. One of the houses that I lived in as a kid didn't burn down, but there was a pretty bad fire in the house. And yeah, I don't mess around with stuff like this. It's definitely not worth the risk. The top comment says, if your boyfriend can't grasp this concept, he's weapons grade stupid. Weapons grade stupid. That's so funny. The second top comment says, not overreacting, firefighter here. This is exactly the setup that caused the house fire which burned through my gear and sent me to the hospital for 8 weeks. Polyester lights quick and burns hot. Yeah, 100%. And even if it didn't start a fire, which it definitely could, why would you risk it anyway? Like, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna eat a small amount of poison. It might kill me or it might not kill me, but I'm gonna try anyway. Like, why even do this? This comment says, is this the DNA that you want to give your children? Also a funny comment. Yeah, you're not overreacting, OP. Okay, story number 5. Am I the a-hole? I said no to a lady who asked me to put something back for her at the grocery store, and she called me a jerk. Today, I was at the grocery store looking for a specific kind of juice, and while I was browsing, a lady wearing a mask and a hat walked up to me and asked me to put some orange juice back for her. I looked at where the orange juice was, and it was down at the end of the aisle in the middle of the shelf, completely within her reach. If it was too high for her, I would have done it, but she was clearly capable, and it seemed like an unnecessary request. I said, no, you can put it back. And she replied, oh, I just thought maybe you could do something nice. And as she was walking away, she looked back and called me a jerk. Because she was wearing a mask, I couldn't tell how old she was initially, but her voice sounded like an older person. By being in public, did I owe her this favor? It seemed like an entitled request and an unnecessary insult. The top comment says, not the a-hole, if she could take it off the shelf, she can put it back. Yeah, that one's kind of confusing. Like, why do you want me to put this back when it's gonna go right there and it's super easy to put it back? And then the insult to OP on top of it? Yeah, it's definitely a not the a-hole consensus. The second top comment says, not the a-hole, you aren't, I assume, a store employee. You aren't her family member or a friend who was shopping with her. She was clearly fully ambulatory. You were in no way obligated to put the juice back for her. And also, why did she want OP to put the juice back? Was she in a rush? Was she going in the opposite direction and didn't want to turn around? Like, in the time that she was asking OP to do this, she could have put it back. And yeah, insulting you over this is definitely unnecessary. It says there, she walked up to me and asked me to put some orange juice back for her. So by the sounds of it, that's all that she said. She didn't really give any reason why. Did she think that you worked there, OP? If she came up to you and was like, hey, I'm not able to do this, could you help me out? Or hey, I can't reach the shelf, could you put this back for me? Or hey, like, I'm really not feeling well at the moment, could you do this? Because there was like something going on. That'd be a different story, but by the sounds of it, she was like, hey, can you put this back for me? Because I feel like that would be a nice thing to do. And then insults OP when OP says no. Like, what's that about? That's definitely unnecessary. This comment says, not the a-hole, if a person wants an odd favor from a non-employee, they should give some kind of explanation. Something like, I'm having trouble lifting this over my head, could you put this back on the shelf for me? And I totally would have helped them. But just asking for seemingly no reason without any explanation, I would have reacted similarly to the way that you did. She should not have insulted you. Yeah, and that's definitely the consensus. The next one, am I overreacting to break up with my boyfriend of 3 years over his reaction to my upcoming sobriety anniversary? I'm thinking of getting myself a cake for December 12th. 2 years sober. Yeah, but why would you get a cake? Just to celebrate. So you're celebrating doing the bare minimum, lol? Oh my god, we get rid of him. That is not how you respond in this situation. It's something that took work and has been difficult for me. Yeah, but you still need my validation to buy yourself a cake? ... No, I'm not looking for validation. I wanted to share with you since I thought you'd be happy for me. Oh, this is so sad. Don't put up with this, OP. No, you wanted a pat on the back from me and now you're pissed that I didn't give it to you because I'm not going to act like you're a hero for doing the bare minimum. You're the one who chose to drink too much. Don't make it everyone's problem. Oh my god. Why are you talking to me like this? Yeah. Are you having a bad day at work? I'm just being real with you. This is not something worth buying a cake over. Like, do not go around telling our friends about this because it'll look bad. Okay, never mind. Did you want to go to so-and-so after work to see something? I'm watching the game with so-and-so. Oh my god, OP, don't put up with this. And it says here, alcoholism was something that I struggled with in my 20s and I finally got into therapy and got sober. I did smart recovery and it's been a lot of hard work changing a lot of my habits and it's something that I'm proud of. Yeah, and you should be proud. I thought I'd get one of the berry chantilly cakes. The screenshots are from the conversation with my boyfriend when I was thinking about it. He acted normal when he got home, but the way that he talked to me really hurt my feelings. The kind of relationship I want is one where I can share something like this and the other person would be like, that's awesome. Or even, I'll pick it up for you or something. Yeah, 100%. You don't deserve this crap, OP. I don't need or want a parade, but I feel like my person should celebrate with me. Of course they should. I'm thinking of ending it with him because the more I think about this, the sadder it makes me feel. But I'm posting about this because I know Reddit is very unforgiving and strict about addiction, and maybe you guys will show me how I'm blowing it out of proportion. No, you're definitely not. I don't want to walk away too soon. He's never talked to me so negatively before, saying stuff like, you wanted a pat on the back, and I'm not going to act like you're a hero. Doesn't feel like the way a good partner would talk. Yeah, it's not. At all. And also, you're not doing the bare minimum. Addiction is horrible, and it's hard to break stuff like that. Yeah, like this comment says, the bare minimum for a boyfriend would have been to be happy for you. Not only was he not celebrating you, he insulted you and minimized something that's big and very hard, and very important for you. That's gross and unkind, and you deserve better. But enough of him and on to you. Congratulations on your hard work. It's not easy nor the bare minimum, especially in today's society. You absolutely deserve to celebrate. If people judge you for that, they are not your people. I hope you're kind to yourself today. You should absolutely get yourself the cake. Yeah, the audacity to say to OP that it's the bare minimum. That's messed up. Everybody who's dealt with a serious addiction before knows how hard it is to deal with stuff like this. It's not the bare minimum. It's so much hard work. The top comment says, the way that you moved on from his disrespect so quick in this text conversation makes me feel like maybe he's talked to you like this before. Don't let condescending bullshit become the norm. You don't need this tainting your inner dialogue. Part of recovery is celebrating milestones and appreciating the positives that you're nurturing. Hell yeah, it's cake day. Yeah, this one makes me sad. You don't deserve this crap, OP. Like, that's unbelievably sad. Your partner should be your biggest fan. They should be raising you up, not putting you down. The comment under that says, not overreacting. As a fellow recovering alcoholic, I want to say that's super awesome that you've reached this milestone, and 100% think you should get a cake. And your boyfriend's being a bag, to be honest. I don't think he's a great person to have in your corner, in my opinion, but I'm very happy for you. Keep up the good work. Yeah, oh, you want a pat on the back for doing the bare minimum? Acting like you're a hero for doing the bare minimum? Or whatever he said? That's a horrible way to talk to your partner. This comment says, not overreacting, and this man hates you. You should absolutely be proud, and he's trying to humble and embarrass you. Yeah, run in the opposite direction, OP. The next one, am I overreacting if I broke up with my boyfriend over this? You've ruined my life. You've left me trapped. I hate you. Oh my. Me, 18 female, and my boyfriend, 18 male, were having an argument for a whole day because I wanted him to stop calling me names. He wouldn't stop dragging the argument, but expected me to just get over it. So I said to him, he can't expect me to get shut up while he's still making comments, and he ignored my message. An hour later, he started attacking me and told me that I make him depressed, that I've trapped him, that he hates his life, and that it's all my fault. He has lost friends since being in a relationship with me, but this was all off his own accord, and I've never asked him to stop being friends with anybody. He says that he did it for me because he'd made sacrifices because he cares, so that's why it's my fault? Is it an overreaction if I broke up with him for saying all of this to me? And is it really my fault that he's left people for me? Of course it's not your fault. Oh, my actions are your fault, are they? Yeah, like the top comment says, if he hates you, then breaking up with him does both of you a favour. You've ruined my life, he said. You've left me trapped. I hate you. Of course, break up. There's no coming back from this. Yeah, like this comment says, nobody should speak to you that way. 100%. The second top comment says, you're not overreacting. He's verbally abusing you and disrespecting you. You're still young and you have your whole life ahead of you to have new and better dating experiences. I say get out while you can. His resentment's going to build up and turn into physical abuse. You don't need to be stressing over this guy. Yeah, they're 18 for God's sake. You are not overreacting, OP. You two should not be together. And also, don't let him think that this is okay. Like, hey, you tell me that I've ruined your life and that you hate me? You better believe that we're done, dude. Yeah, like this comment says, he says he hates you. Believe him. Yeah, very much a not overreacting consensus. Okay, story number 8. Am I the a-hole for moving out because my dad got back with his ex and was planning to move her in with us? My dad and Claire, both in their 40s, have a long-ish history together. They dated when I, 19 male, was 6 or 7 after my parents separated for a while. Then my parents got back together and Claire was gone. But then my mum died and Dad and Claire got back together when I was 12. They dated for 2 years. She and I had our issues, so did her and my grandparents, her and my aunt, and her and my uncle. All paternal relatives. One of our issues was that she expected us to be willing babysitters for her because of her and Dad's relationship. But she also called my mum a because my mum was dating someone else when Dad and Claire were together the first time, and then Mum got back with Dad. Why that only made Mum a and not Dad is something that she never answered, but it was an issue that we had with each other. At the worst, we ended up arguing, and I told her that she would never be my mother, and I would never treat her or her children as my family, so she needed to get the out of my business. My dad told Claire that she couldn't try to parent me because I was right. She wasn't my mother, and we didn't even know each other that well. Her and Dad broke up after that. 11 weeks ago, I found out that my dad and Claire are back together, and he was planning to move her in with us. She was trying to wrap up her job and figure stuff out with her kids' school before moving in with us. Dad and I argued about it because he didn't tell me. I had to overhear him talk to her about it on the phone. He told me that I didn't need to look so disgusted at the thought, because I know I look disgusted at the thought of living with her. So I spoke to both sets of grandparents, and my maternal grandparents said that I could move in with them. My dad found out when I started packing. He asked me not to leave, and he told me that we could find a way to make all of us work as a family. I told him that I wasn't willing to work on that, and that I refused to be Claire's family, and I refused to be her kid's babysitter. I told him he wants to be with her, and that's a decision that he's allowed to make, but that I would not pay towards a household. I paid a couple of bills and threw in money for groceries every week, where she lives, so I'm moving somewhere else. I moved out, and Claire and her kids moved in last week. My dad hoped that I'd come around, but I didn't. We spent Thanksgiving apart for the first time ever. My paternal grandparents refused to spend Thanksgiving with Claire as well, so my dad was upset. He told me that my room was still waiting for me, so to please come home, because he misses me. I told him I loved him, but I couldn't be around Claire. Dad told me that it felt like I moved out to try to punish him for trying again with Claire, and that there was never any rush for me to move out. Am I the a-hole? Definitely a not the a-hole consensus. The top comment says not the a-hole. You're an adult who can choose to live wherever you want, not to mention choosing not to live in a potential war zone. Yeah, 100%. It makes the most sense. Like, there are some people that you can't live with. Like, it's just never gonna work. The response says, OP, you stated it quite well. Your dad is free to have Claire back in his house, and you're free to leave. Period. End of story. Yeah, like, hey, I'm not living in this house, okay? The second top comment says not the a-hole. Claire doesn't respect you or your boundaries, and she clearly never will. Your dad knew that it was an issue, or he would have been upfront about it. That's an a-hole move right there, trying to present you with a done deal without any time or chance to make a choice. Moving out seems totally reasonable. Obviously, it's not so unreasonable that his parents want anything to do with her either. Yeah. If his own family all hate her, it's not you, it's her. Start your new life and let them start theirs. You're not required to live with your dad to have a relationship with him, but you don't have to be forced into one with Claire. Yeah, if everybody else in the family feels the same way as OP, then the issue definitely is not OP. This comment says, not the a-hole, your dad knew how you felt. That's why he kept it so quiet. And he has to see that it's not you and that it's Claire. Even his own family members are refusing to spend time with her. If ignorance is bliss, then he just wants to be blissful. Yeah, like OP said, like, hey, you're allowed to make whatever choices you want to, but so am I. You moving out, OP's not unreasonable at all. This comment says, laughing my ass off, what? You've got every right to move out regardless of the reason. In what universe are you the a-hole? And OP said, I know my dad sort of thinks I am even if he's not calling me one, because I would have stayed living with him if the Claire stuff didn't happen. So that changes things for me. Yeah, and of course it does. It's the mature thing to do too. Like, hey, if I stay in this house, there are going to be arguments all the time. It's going to be awkward and uncomfortable. So I'm going to move out because it's the best thing to do. You did the right thing, OP, not the a-hole. Okay, the next one says, am I the a-hole for not helping pay for my cousin's meal? I, 28 female, went out for lunch with my mum, 46, my uncle, 36, and his son, 11 yesterday. Uncle chose the place and insisted on everybody sharing a huge barbecue, even though my mum and I wanted to eat something else. Once the bill comes, I divide it by 4 and I say that he should pay for himself and my cousin, while my mum and I each pay for our own part. He gets angry at this and says that every adult should cover a third of the bill, because my cousin obviously can't contribute. It's not the first time that he's done it. My mum points out that she never made him or anybody else pay for my meals when I was a kid, but Uncle insists. I agree to pay extra because I don't want to make a scene at the restaurant, but I get angry because I'm expending a good amount of money on food that I'm not enthusiastic about. I tell my mum that I'm never going out to eat with him again. In fact, I'd previously said that and only agreed to this lunch because it was supposed to be in a cheap restaurant, but Uncle changed his mind about the place at the last minute. Uncle overhears and agrees to give us the money, but gets angry and calls us selfish. For context, I'm a teacher, so I'm not exactly rolling in cash. My mum and my uncle are both better off than me financially. Not rich or anything, but he could definitely cover half the bill. Am I the a-hole? No, definitely not. Not your semen, not your demon. That's so funny. And it's 100% true. This comment says, not the a-hole, the moment that your uncle changed the restaurant, you should have changed your mind about going out with him. There's no reason why he can't cover the bill for himself and the cousin. Insist on him paying you back. And the top comment says, not the a-hole, parents are responsible for their children's food and board. This comment says, absolutely not the a-hole, your uncle's responsible for paying for his own kid, especially since he chose a more expensive place to eat. He knew what he was doing by insisting everybody split a large meal. However, it sounds like you knew this was going to happen, since he's done it before. So why did you agree to let him choose the restaurant in the first place? Either stand your ground and have everybody agree on where to eat, or don't go out to eat with him again. Yeah, definitely a not the a-hole consensus, and don't go to lunch with your uncle again. Time to read something wholesome. What is he thinking about? Cute little cat. Nice, soft, warm laundry. He's orange. He's not thinking. Yeah, 100%. Probably thinking about being a nuisance. So unbelievably cute. Thank you for watching today's episode, everybody. I hope you had a great time. Let me know in the comments if you did. And the comment of the day goes to Frigola Strawberry. And it's going to be probably a little bit sad. Every time the basket's empty, I just imagine Chia sitting there giving you company in silence, as she listens to you talk and enjoys the little playthings you put there. And Nez and Jin are staying out of there to respect her new favourite resting spot. That is so unbelievably beautiful. Yeah, I miss and love her so much. And yeah, the thought that she's sitting in the basket is really beautiful. Don't make me cry in the episode, but yeah, thank you for the comment. I think about Chia every day. I love that little kitty so much and I miss her so much, and I'm so grateful that we had her for as long as we did. Such a beautiful cat. She is so awesome. Yeah, love her so much. Okay, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys in the next episode. I'm gonna be trying to do more episodes, so I'll see you pretty soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!